everyone, welcome to another episode of What Went Down. I'm Craig, aka Mr. Impact Blog from the TNAIW channel, and as you can see, I'm still joined by the co-host of the Talking Nonsense about Impact Wrestling podcast, Jeff.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Straight off of the interview, right?
Yes, if you saw my Twitter, you know who it is, but just keep an eye out for that, because
Yeah, that's exciting. Congratulations on that. Yeah, so we're here again. It's us, and I think that's going to be permanently us. And you're the host, but today I'm going to take the reins a little bit and get your opinion more than mine, since I didn't get to see all the way through. I'll be honest on what I did see or didn't see, as well as what I do and don't remember. It was my birthday, and I spent a little too much time in the treehouse, so I'm just it's a little wonky there. But it was good from what I saw. I'm excited to talk about it and get to hear your opinion as well. So
yeah, I mean, it's an interesting episode, so we'll get straight into it with we were promised an open mic, a microphone with the world champion. We got that. Eric Young opened the show, talking about how he is is a world-class wrestler, world-class athlete, and most importantly, a world-class maniac. Of course, interrupted by Alicia Edwards, who killed her promo, and then out came Tommy Dreamer for whatever reason.
so I won't take too much time. Besides saying that the Tommy Dreamer thing, I feel like we hit on all the time. At this point, especially the way and I'm going to remember him as the Slammiversary Tommy Dreamer. He is the Terry Funk, and this might be going back a little too far for our viewers, but Terry Funk of ECW, he was the veteran. Everyone knew he was at his limit, we'll say that, or at the point where he should probably lay low. But he's still there to work with the younger guys and put that person over and breathe some life into whatever storyline is going on. So if you view him just for that, then it is what it is. But at the same time, he is limited, and we'll touch on that later as far as the match itself. But a couple things. Lish, I'm so happy that she's getting that continuous time to shine from Wrestle House to now. She did a great job. The only thing I was confused on was, what did Eric do to Eddie that he can't walk the kids and shit? Did he?
Yeah, last week after he won the title, he went for Eddie's leg. He chop blocked it and then attacked with a steel chair.
And no one came. Okay. I don't know why I don't remember that well. All right. Well, yeah. So, okay. So if he did, then yeah, it hit it right on the head of what it should have been. I thought she delivered it well, even if that was the case where he didn't attack his leg. But I'm digging Eric Young, and I said it on the podcast, and I might have said it here too. This is the reclamation project for Eric Young, to be seen in the eyes of older heads like myself who were present for his original title run and kind of his evolution of the Eric Young character, to redeem himself, for lack of better terms, from his last reign. And he has that sweet spot of what his character is, the world-class maniac. I like the unpredictable nature of it because it means anything can happen. And I love that the first to get that over, Lish was the first person, because that attachment, she always sticks up for him. If it was with Sammy, it was whatever. It just made sense. It was a nice start, and I'm not a big promo guy in the beginning segment, but I liked it.
Yeah, I thought Lish, as I said earlier, she killed her promo. Knocked it out of the park, and she hasn't had much time on a microphone to talk, or she hasn't really had that much time in the ring either. But obviously, thanks to Wrestle House and the stuff she did there, it showed everyone what she can do, and now that's finally being shown on TV, which I like. And as for EY, when he won the title, I was slightly worried that it was just gonna. They put a title on him just to say "fuck you, Vince." I was kind of worried like about that, but
Did it feel like that to you though? The promo?
a little bit, but not to the point where it was obvious.
So, and this isn't a slight, but did you see Rusev Miro's
yeah,
like very direct? Okay. No, I'm gonna be honest. Obviously, I didn't get to see all of it. I saw Lish's part, cut in and cut out. My feet's horrible on Twitch, by the way. Was his the same level? I didn't get the vibe, the tone of it to be the same.
no, it was just that.
Just in there.
Yeah, it's making sure people knew that everything that's happening is by his design, and that it's it's fine.
It speaks to a bigger plan.
Exactly. But as for Tommy, I agree with in the sense that we know why he's there. He's there to be that veteran who can put them in their place, but also help.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I've got no issue with that one. It was a
good leader, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good segment. I didn't have much of an issue with it. But then we'll mix these together.
Okay.
Moose first getting on the plane, and then we see him at, I'm assuming was his old high school or college with his old coach, trying to find EC3 and get back his TNA World title. And his coach said, "Control your, remember what I told you. Control your narrative, and you have been warned."
Yeah. The first part, the idea of it, all of it, I really dig. And Doug, the ending stuff with the EC3 lookalikes and things, and it was. I would be in the middle if we were doing thumbs up and thumbs down, because on one hand, I like the taking us out of the Impact zone. I like seeing different things on this variety show we called Impact. So for that point, it was good. The getting on the plane thing, I dig all that. As a upstate New Yorker in the United States here, I know that Moose College is literally 45 minutes to my west. So I don't think it was that. And I know we're not supposed to think that deep into it, but of course that's where my mind goes first. I'm like, Moose wasn't here, man. He's not. So maybe like, I never got a grasp of if that's not here, we're not supposed to, if you're not like me who knows that because I freaking live here, would you go to Google and say, where does Moose go to school to kind of figure out this thing? Or it didn't really say where he was geographically.
No.
So my prediction or my guess of the ROH thing isn't really clear. I don't know where Moose went to school for high school, so I think there's more questions for me than answers with that little segment, but maybe that was the point. Probably was the point.
That's fair. Obviously, as I mentioned last week, I'm awful at geography. I barely know where I'm going in my own town. So I've with the States, I have no clue where anything is. But I agree. It was a nice. What I'm looking for. It fed into the story well, but if I'm not entirely sure what purpose it played, especially with the lookalikes coming in. I get it; it's supposed to be EC3 could be anywhere, or it's one of those things. I didn't think much to it because it wasn't very much to think of.
Right.
It wasn't. I understand why they did it, but
yeah, it was a continue. It had to be done. it served its purpose, as we say, but it was there, and idea great, execution a little weird. I think that's fair to.
Yeah, if it wasn't in the show, I wouldn't have missed it or even thought about it. Again, we'll mix these together because there's a lot of them, and we'll include the match just to save a lot of time.
Okay.
The wedding prep for Rosemary and Johnny Bravo with Taya, and including Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan throughout the whole thing of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Rosemary went off to resurrect someone who could perform the wedding. I wonder who that could be.
Right. The father is returning. And when before we get to that, I did you catch on? I think it was 2 Wrestle Houses ago or so that when the stuffed animal dog had that devil outfit on, the voice was Jim Mitchell, right? Or Bravo doing Jim Mitchell. It was like dead on, spot on, and I never mentioned that, but I wanted to see if you caught that. Go back and watch, see if I'm wrong there, but I'll have to do so as well. But yeah, so I kind of had a vibe, and we communicate with him a little bit. So I had a vibe he was coming back. So I'm guessing that seems to be legit, which I'm stoked about because Impact, as we said, does weddings right. Do they end well? No, it's a wrestling wedding. It's going to happen. Horribleness is going to happen. But what I love about Impact and what they're doing, especially with this creative team, and then with these segments we're talking about, is once again the intertwining of storylines, right? Tasha Steelz, Kiera Hogan. You could say that maybe they would have not been forgotten about. They just won their feud, but right now it doesn't seem the tags are focused on as much. So what do they do next? It's unfortunate. We'll save that for when we eventually do our Bound for Glory predictions. I know we were going to do them here, but there's some stuff that happened with releases and stuff. I want to wait a little bit. That's okay. But yeah, so it was nice to see them have a piece of that. It was nice for the storyline to continue, and we're not just getting a wedding tomorrow. So there's lead up to it, and there's a reason, in that regard, it's a success because anytime you can involve more of the roster that initially had nothing to do with that, they weren't even in Wrestle House. So to have them involved with the people that were secluded in Wrestle House for all this time or quarantined in Wrestle House, it was pretty cool and unexpected. So I'm happy to see that at least.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Rosemary has been one of my favorite characters in Impact for so long. Taya, I still have mixed feelings on Taya. Not about her in-ring ability or her mic ability, but I guess she's doing her job if I find her annoying, right?
Her character?
Yeah, if I find her character annoying, she's obviously doing her job right.
Yeah, her character I would never hang out with, and if you paid me. But she's good at doing her job. And there's the show The Real Housewives of This or That really does exist in the States, and it's trash. And the people are that. Oh, you do. Oh, wow, God bless you.
It's awful.
Awful. A detriment on society. But you do have those people. You have these selfish, extravagant, greedy people that act just like her character is acting. So, yeah, she's supposed to be annoying, and she's getting over in that regards, right? I don't know if that means if it relates to not wanting to see her wrestle, then we have a problem. If it goes to being you want to see her get beat while wrestling, then we're good.
Yeah.
So you just got to figure out what side of the fence you're on with
that. She's incredible. One of the best knockouts in history, and one of the best women's wrestlers right now.
I agree.
But again, I like to see her lose because of her character.
That's job well done. Yeah.
So quickly to our first match. Kind of kind of number one contenders match for the X title. TJP defeats Chris Bay with a roll up. Bay was distracted throughout the match. Before Rohit came out.
I'm sorry. Did you want to include the Taya match? Didn't Taya?
I will just go to that. That set up that stuff for Taya set up the match. We'll go to the match a little bit further down the line.
Okay, so we're talking about Bay versus TJP there.
Yes, and TJP is best. I've got to get that out there. TJP is one of the very best.
Yeah, man, and I like Fala. I've said that since they've been putting them together. I never saw them as a legit tag team, and that's not anything else than the fact that TJP is on a different level. And alone, he is a brand. And if they do it right, I don't know if they're bringing back a group or whatever, but the first person you need to add to make that group cool, or if you want a Bullet Club like, is TJP. He just has this star quality to him, no matter how cocky or he is in real life or not. It's warranted. He deserves to have that ego, and he's he has a cool persona that he portrays it off as. It's not overly annoying, and it goes to the whole package of him. I like the finish, even though a little whatever, just to make it where Bay isn't losing consecutively in a really definitive way. It was kind of, anyone could have had that match. And I'm glad to see that because I love Chris Bay. It's, I don't know how to word it. It's a TV match. So when people say, it's a 5-star match on television, go fuck yourself. That's not, excuse my language, but it's hard to do that when you have commercial breaks. And if you don't, it's only an 8-minute match at tops, in which we got, I think, was a 6. I don't even know. I don't remember. Might have been less. But they fit a lot in there because they can go. And I would love to watch them in a best of 5 series for the number 1 contendership. I think that would be really cool. But I don't want Rohit to lose so quickly. But do you agree? Did it make Bay look worse?
No. Chris Bay is an incredible athlete, and he's still young, so a few years down the line, he can, or maybe in a few months down the line, he can pick up that title again and have a more meaningful run. So it doesn't hurt him. I can sort of understand why TJP is like almost the number 1 contender for the title, because he is, like you say, he's TJP. I mean, he's already former champ. Yeah, TJP is arrogant, but in a very good way. He knows he's good, and he won't. Well, I will say he doesn't always shit on people, but most of the time he's very opinionated about how good he is, but he can back it up.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really argue with that. It's just, if you watch him for 5 minutes to 30 seconds, to 30 minutes, it doesn't matter. He comes off on the screen as something bigger than who he's in the ring. Depending, if it's, if I see, and that's why I always use the comparison video game. It looks like if it's Sammy versus him, they're both complete star quality guys. So it looks like a video game. But sometimes when TJP's in the ring with somebody else, he looks like he's in a whole different universe. And, I'm glad he won. I'm glad they're finally pushing him in that regards. Scared to see what happens with Fala, but as far as this segment goes, it didn't make Bay look bad, even though I think he should be more aggressive and angry. He got screwed out of his title technically. I didn't really get that come across as much, but
he was distracted even before Rohit came out, so it was a little bit off his game.
Okay.
But I'm excited to see what happens about for Glory between the X Division Championship.
Yeah.
It's going to be great no matter what. So, but my personal favorite segment from a while now, Locker Room Talk, with special guests Kylie Ray and Susie, with the returning of the co-host Johnny Swinger.
Yeah, who's just
I loved it.
He's just gold, man. Once again, it's another setting or scene change that takes you out of just being a wrestling show. It's always creatively written, and it always features something that's not trying to get Swinger or Madison over on their own. It's trying to get the storyline that they're talking about over. And I dig that. It's a different way, unique way to get a storyline over. So from what I saw and remember, it was funny as usual, and more of it, especially with Wrestle House on. I guess you have to fill those segments in, and I guess we'll get to, I don't know if we'll get to RVD thing later, but RVD's gonna have a talk show as well. So more segment like that, the better. But
yeah. I can admit at first when Locker Room Talk became a thing, I wasn't sold on it. I just thought, oh, here comes another chat show segment.
Yeah,
Have worked in Impact. They haven't really worked. I mean, Fact of Life was probably the only one that took off a little bit more than the rest.
That's fair. They've always threw stuff at the wall and hope it stuck. And even with what was his again?
Fact of Life.
It wasn't really something that they invested in. They had a sticker on the podium, and he went out there and shit on people. And they had the dummy button, and that part was good. But this is the first time where I feel like Impact has gone in 100, if not 110%. Mathematically not possible, I understand, but do you know what I mean? Like, it feels like they gave it a logo, they gave it an intro, they gave it a look. Now, could it be improved? Yeah, the lighting and stuff is pretty shit, but for what it is, it serves its point. And it's not something that's a channel changer. It's always entertaining. Those are and I want to rephrase what I said earlier, those are the kind of segments you need more of. Not just talking, but things that serve a purpose and have a brand to them.
Yeah, completely. I can admit in the beginning I was slightly worried that it was going to be like I doubt anyone remembers this unless they watched religiously. Mr. Anderson's talk show that had one episode and was edited halfway through.
I remember the halfway through edited thing, and I remember Anderson being part of it, but I do not remember. Don't remember that segment. Did he have a guest?
Yeah, Matt Hardy and Reby, just before Matt became broken.
Okay. Oh, was he a Big Money Matt?
No, it's just between that, after his thing with Jeff, before the Outquit match, before Slammiversary.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. Again, because it's just a stupid thing that I can remember, even though it was awful.
Oh.
Okay, so then the next match.
By the way, don't ever include that in the Hard 10 game show. That question.
Damn. So then we move on to our next match of the night. The Most Professional Wrestler versus Willie Mack. I did not like it.
I like that Brian Myers won. Because what they're doing now is using the elevation of Brian Myers that I won't say unfortunately. I'll be optimistic. that they have to do. They have to put him on an upward trajectory because he is a new signing. He is still a name. He still gets attention. He has outside things that draw attention to the product. And he's not a bad dude. So if you have to come in and sacrifice some Impact regulars to him to elevate him, I like that they're using Willie to do so only because it's creating that frustration within Willie. And it's creating a character that's down in the dumps, that's hasn't won in twice, well, hasn't won in a lot, but lost his title and has been on a downward spiral pretty much since. So it's killing two birds with one stone. It's not just the Brian Myers win. It's a Willie Mack loss, which is just as helpful to progress their storylines. I get where they're going now. I guess it was tongue-in-cheek, the most professional wrestler, because obviously he's not, and that's the shtick. But you know, I'm still not sold on what they're doing with him, and I don't know if that's the same for you, or it was more a loss-win thing.
No, the loss didn't bother me because like you saying, I agree with. This is almost. It has to be a new start for Willie. Something big to reinvent himself.
Right.
So he's not the happy, bouncy chocolate thunder Willie Mack. That'd be more serious. People can take him more seriously. I'm fine with that, but with Brian Myers, I try to be optimistic about him and the stuff he's doing. I just can't get invested in it because it's a tough one. Because, yeah, they do have to, like I said, it does have to win, and they do have to build him more to get that WWE stink off him, which I get, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like much more is going to happen with Brian Myers.
See, that's the problem. There you go, and I agree with you there. That's what I can't vocalize, which is compared to Heath, and I don't want to compare them because everyone's situation is different. But Heath came in with a built-in storyline. He came in with a narrative that they were obviously going to go to. They have something planned, and it's going to continue. Obviously, I don't know if we'll talk about it, but with the Rhino and money and all that situation, we could see where that's headed. Because who has a lot of money that you could get quickly? Hernandez. So they're doing it right. You know, we kind of talked about that. But even if they don't do it that way, at least we're talking about it in the sense of, oh, something's going to happen. I don't feel where that storyline comes into play with Brian Myers. And the only thing I can think of, because it doesn't seem very this management to throw someone in there with no plan, is the only thing that flashes in my head, and maybe this is a talk for a different show, but when they kept showing the teaser trailer, right, with the three people and the this and the that and all that, Brian Myers was on the first video, and he was never in another one until the very end. Same with Spud, right? Spud was just never again. Rusev, never again. And we said that we thought Rusev would be AEW, and we knew Spud was staying. So to me, as being a home backseat detective, you would assume that meant Brian Myers maybe was debating where he was going. And because of that, maybe they didn't have stuff planned out, per se, or someone he was supposed to have a feud with is no longer with the company. Who knows? So I keep trying to remind myself of things like that so I can give him a chance. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like, there doesn't seem to be a goal for Brian Myers.
You just can't feel it all coming. You can't feel it.
Can't feel it. His logo and all that is lazy. The video package is basic. there's nothing that says we invested in this guy yet. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to look and focus on the loss more than the win. And hope. Now, real quick off subject, I know we always do get off subject, but as far as Willie, though, could you see, obviously, I think the end game is eventual Rich winning the title, Willie being his first or something around their opponent. Could you see, if that's the route we go, that Willie joins another struggling X Division guy that he's had quarrels with, in Chris Bay? Could you see an alliance there? And I only say that because they both are frustrated. They both won and lost the title. They both their paths are kind of parallel right now. But I don't know. Just
I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I'm seeing more of a Rich win the title and Willie turning on him straight after. Celebrate like we thought Rich was going to do with Willie after he won at Rebellion.
Yeah.
I think that's the plan for Willie. But again, if only time will tell. And I hope if there's anyone that can prove us wrong about Brian Myers, it will be his Impact Management. It will be his Impact.
And honestly, at the same time, the only person that can really, really prove us wrong is Brian Myers himself. Because there's some people that are given good stuff and don't do anything with it. There's some people that are given shit stuff and kill it and stick out past it. And right now, wishy-washy.
Yeah.
I agree. I trust Impact Management, so I have to continue some
trust. Yeah. Before we move on, I mean, crap, what was I going to say? That I can't remember what I was going to say. If it comes back to me, I'll come back. No. But yeah, then we go backstage again. This time with Jordynne Grace being interviewed by Mean Gia Miller. They talk about Tenille. Then Jordynne wants to know why Tenille hasn't been at work, which everyone wants to know. Then they go find her. They go to her dressing room, knock on the door to a returning Caleb with the K.
Yeah, returning. Yeah, and by that I mean taking off.
That's Caleb. It's return. That's Caleb.
Hey, that's Caleb. So a couple things with that. We'll start at the very beginning. As far as another backstage segment, I'm okay with them because they're getting the characters over, but it is excessive at certain points. But once again, we're changing scenery, and I want to give a shout out. I know she doesn't watch, but Gia Miller, who you mentioned, here's the thing with her. After Borash stopped doing backstage, after Christy did stop doing backstage, we were kind of, we had who does Twitch? What's her Melissa Santos. Sorry. So we had Melissa, we had Mackenzie, we had that Alicia girl, Tao, whatever her name is.
Alicia, yeah. Alicia at 2.
Yeah, sure. And we saw Loren, whatever, Gabby.
Loren, yeah. Yes, she was one of my favorites.
Yeah, all of them good in their own right. And when I saw Gia there, I was like, oh man, this girl's just here because they needed somebody. But I will say something that I haven't seen in a while, since Chrissy Hemme will say, because JB and her kind of intertwined and then they went away. She feels like the first one that can break through and be her own personality. Mackenzie was very interviewer. Melissa's great, but Melissa, to me, I love commentating or announce, like in the ring with the mic.
Yeah, announcer, no doubt.
Yeah. Which this girl just seems to revel in the opportunity. It really gives a shit. Seems to care about Impact, which usually they hire people that don't know wrestling, that are there from a sports broadcasting world. but she seems to embrace it. And you see that online, you see it on Twitter, you see it in the interviews where she's now portraying a kind of more timid but confused character, which I really dig. I think it fits a different vibe, and that's what you kind of need. If we're going to have all these backstage segments, you need someone who is different. And she's really doing a great job with that. So I really like that because she brings a breath of fresh air to that role. So with that being said, Caleb coming back, who is Suicide. I'm going to say that. I don't think this character, Caleb with a K, is Suicide. I don't like one-name characters. Not a big fan. He's Tennille's personal photographer, which I think is just lovely. Because even Max and I talked about it on the show. We were mentioning that you had wrote the investment of the talent, and I said it was brought up because of Tennille, because you mentioned that you don't feel like she's invested in the product, so why invest in her? And he said, well, yeah, I guess you're right. You scroll through, and he's like, all she does is take, photos of herself. And so I was like, that is the perfect character. If you're going to introduce someone to be with Tennille, to have. We complained about her promo. You give her someone to talk with. You treat her like a star and make believe she's pompous and believe she's above everybody else. It's just perfect. So it hit the nail on the head on a lot of different things. I'm just nervous if Caleb with a K is the new cute kid, which might be a wink. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see where we're going. But brilliant fix to a problem, multiple problems that I thought we had.
Yeah, agree. I think one thing with Caleb, I want to say something to him. If anyone sees this, and just let him know, because he's obviously been there since at least the second set of tapings during the COVID era tapings.
Right.
And when we were talking that, oh, he's suicide. I think he's suicide. He responded saying, nope, not me. So he's lying.
Yeah. Well, maybe
he's not even there. He's lying.
It is. Suicide might also be Wentz at one point, because they're very similar in that, and that's who my guess was until you started mentioning Caleb, because he also did wrestle as Suicide prior. I watched Caleb from maybe his first year in wrestling, because he's in part of a North Carolina that I would go watch shows of. High Spots would do a lot of shows there. Legends of Wrestling. I can't remember the name. But yeah, he would do a lot of things with George South and those groups. So I got to see him, and I always thought he was a good talent. I hope this character is something more than just a photographer. I hope it launches him into something else, or this just launches him into, with the same character, into a higher level, because he definitely has the talent to succeed. So I really hope they.
Agreed. I mean, I like Caleb Conley. I think the first time I saw him was at Total Nonstop Deletion, where he faced Itchweed, Jeff Hardy's other alter ego.
Yeah.
And obviously, he came in as part of the. I know he came in as a number one contenders match for the Extreme Championship. I remember that very well. I think it was a multi-person match, and I want him to win it because he is incredible. So I hope you do see him wrestle, but I'm not that excited about seeing Tennille next week. Which is, I'm sure everyone who knows me now knows.
But I would agree with you if I had not seen this segment, because last week after her promo, we were both, with her. But let's give it a chance, in the sense that Caleb being part of it must mean that they see the same thing that we do, which is, okay, she's not that great on the mic. She is a little monotone, so let's give her somebody to help her out. She's not that easy to relate to, because look at her Instagram. It is what it is. She's a gorgeous girl who is a star. so you have to put her on a pedestal to make her feel relatable, because then you can relate not by yourself, but to be like, oh, I hate those people. Just like Taya. I hate that kind of person.
Yeah.
Do you know? So let's give it a chance. Let's see, because I want to see the interaction between Tennille and Caleb with a K.
So, just before we move on quickly, I'm just wondering whether it's going to be kind of like a paparazzi productions kind of thing, where Caleb's outside taking pictures of her while she's in the ring. I know that's not what they did, but like that sort of style, maybe.
That's clever. Because here's the thing, real quick, with Tennille as well, that we mentioned prior to the promo thing. This was her first little run there. The wrestling was a little rusty, it looked, or it didn't seem fluid. To add this next step, which is a heel character who's cocky, and if you do have a photographer on the outside of the ring where she does a move and then goes over and poses, or genius. It gives her another layer to help hide the flaws that may or may not be there.
Yeah. Now, again, I know I can admit that when she first came, I wanted them to turn her heel. She's a better heel, so let's hope.
It's just like Reno Scum. They came in as faces when they originally came. Oi, okay. I like punk rock music. I mean, from Dead Kennedys to the Ramones. Okay, yes. But on the average folk, no one's relating to those guys and saying, yeah, Reno Scum. It's just not happening. You have nothing in common with them. The average person. Same with Tennille. How am I going to root for this person who has great looks, a great career? You know what I mean? Like, she's just on such a different...
Oh, few little issues. Yeah.
Puts herself out as on such a different...
You lose me?
There we go, we're back.
Out of technical difficulties. There you go.
We will do our absolute best to try and fix these. We're trying. So, where are we? Oh. Okay, there. There we go. Back. So then we'll just go on. Impact World Tag Team Championships. Motor City Machine Guns defeat the Rascals, which I think we all saw coming.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I'm glad, because once again, they gave the Rascals a win just to feed them to the Motor City Machine Guns. But good match for the time they had. It was nonstop, total nonstop action that was there. And it was good. I would like to see if these guys had 20 minutes. And maybe a little more on the line. I know that sounds weird because, the tag team championships were on the line, but they were on the line, not at the main event of Impact Wrestling. so let's get that. That's, let's call a spade a spade. So I hope the Rascals get a chance to perfect their thing. The aftermath, as much as the match itself was entertaining to me, simply because the hope of having those teams lock up at Bound for Glory is still there. The hope is there. So I was pleasantly surprised.
Yes, I mean, I like the match, but even though I knew the Rascals weren't going to go in and win, there was still a little bit of part of me that hoped they could pull out an upset, until I saw, I don't remember who ruined it for me, but someone pointed out, and now I can, every time I see it, I know what's going to happen. When the challengers touch the belt before they've actually won it, then they're not going to win. I apologize if that's ruined it for anyone else, but that every time I see a wrestler who isn't champion before the match, literally just before, touch that belt, they're not winning.
You're learning, Craig. You're learning.
It surprised me. I wish I didn't see that, but of course, let's go
else when it comes to wrestling, but there's also something in regards to, I'll say it like this, I won't spoil anything. I'll say Macho Man used to wear, if you watch a Macho Man match, I could tell you if he's going to win or lose. not just based off of watching them historically, I know all the match endings. What they wear to the ring also will show that. Now, if they're in a championship match, trust. But yeah, there's some things that do give it away. I see that. Obviously, at a pay-per-view, if a heel goes over the night before, the show before, the face usually wins, and vice versa. So there's always little things like that. And there's sometimes where they break the trend. But as I said last week, wrestling has a formula. Wrestling has a formula.
It sucks. No, not. I wouldn't say I know, but I'm aware of stuff that goes on in wrestling that can makes it more obvious that it's fake.
Yeah, but
yeah, it doesn't match.
But we'll go to the last bit. But what I want you to do, once again, I'm going to be your life coach, wrestling life coach. Next time you watch a title match, watch if they do touch the belt or not still, okay? And if they don't touch the belt and they lose, I want you to give it up. just move on.
Okay. That's fine. I've never seen it go that way, but I'll give it a chance. But yeah, I love the match, love the aftermath. I was literally thinking that, obviously, it's good as we hadn't seen them, but I was thinking, we haven't seen the North for a few weeks. When were they going to show up? Then literally, second I thought of that, they came out, and Ethan Page looks incredible.
He's big money Page. Yeah, the cool thing with the creative of Impact is the moment you think you're forgetting about somebody is the moment that Impact makes sure they put them on the screen. It's pretty crazy, but they're great.
Agreed. So the next two segments, they're not very much, but got to touch on them just for the sake of what's coming up and potential feuds. RVD and Katie Forbes announced their new talk show, The Whole Effing Talk Show, and Sami Callihan then appears on screen saying he promises that he won't hack the feed. I'm not saying I'm excited for it.
Something, I don't know. Usually when someone says, I won't do this, that means they found a loophole around doing it. Yeah. We're going to analyze, but no, I'm excited that RVD gets a talk show because, yet again, a veteran who serves a point, a purpose, and has value, but maybe can't go all day. And he can still go on occasion, but it is what it is. But at the same time, him and Katie are entertaining. And this serves the purpose with Wrestle House gone. You have more segments built in with the RVD talk show as well. I hope it doesn't come redundant with locker room talk, but I trust that they'll break it up right. The only thing I will say is that it's not old school TNA where there's girls like Katie dancing on a pole in the background or a cage or whatever, and it's money everywhere. It can't be wheat based because that's the treehouse. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited. I'm interested, intrigued.
Yeah, same. And yeah, I don't want to give too much away to my thoughts for the Battle for Glory predictions, but I think we're maybe coming towards the last call for RVD as a wrestler.
As a full-time or as a regular wrestler.
Then we move on to Knockouts match. Tasha Steelz versus Taya Valkyrie, with Taya Valkyrie picking up the win.
Good little match for 3 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever it was. I don't want to see Tasha done that way, but Taya needed a win. Again, I think they're trying to build her back up. And it got Tasha on TV.
Yeah. Not much more said.
As great as Tasha is, and a built-in companionship with Kiera that they gave her in a full-fledged, she is right now a very successful character who is still an enhancement talent. We have to remember that. Same with Lish. Like, yeah, their character's on point. Yeah, they're cool. They're put together, but they're still new to the company or not seen as on the level of everybody else. So patience with that. I'm trying to be patient, but is what it is.
I say not much more I can say apart from the fact that Cassius Steels is great. Kira Hogan's great. Taya, like I said, one of the best. Bravo, one of my he's one of my favorite characters on the show. Very entertaining. And yeah, I don't know. The match for me wasn't that great. Didn't I don't when I watch the Impact. Yeah, when I don't go on it when I watch Impact, I don't usually look at my phone. I was for a little bit during this match, not for all of it, but a little bit. It was it's fine. Knockouts on TV, great, but
yeah, I
necessarily need it this week.
Right.
Didn't need it this week. Again, we touched on it earlier, but just very short. Rhino, Heath outside waiting for Rhino. Both wearing Heath for Impact shirts, which are funny enough on the Shop Impact. They claim he just bought shelves in on Shop Impact, but we know where this is going. It's going to end up with Rhino, Heath, and Hernandez, and I hope I'm praying, but with NWA coming back, maybe not. Homicide joining just for one match, Bound for Glory.
Well, Homicide was with King Eddie Kingston in NWA, so he doesn't really have. I mean, he could still stay there, and it's possible. But I think if the opportunity for Impact comes knocking, I think he would come back wholeheartedly. I don't know.
Yeah, especially if it's a chance to redeem the OGs.
Yes.
Then main event time. It was a non-title between EY and Tommy Dreamer, and of course it was hardcore old school rules.
That's all he should be doing.
It's match. I mean, I'm glad the right result with EY picking up the win. And again, is this the end of Tommy soon?
No, no. I think Tommy gets wheeled out there and does a hardcore match whenever they need him to build a storyline for somebody. But should it be? Yeah, we're getting to that point, sir. But with that being said, he shouldn't have gotten that much offense off on the new world champion. It was a little too two-sided for me. But other than that, the right result happened. The right ending happened as well.
Yes.
The turn of Rich Swann and that I got to see on a clip, and I caught the whole match in that. I like that Rich is still selling the injury. I don't know how they heal him before Bound. I don't know. I mean, I think we see the icing or the whatever. We see it. Or are we overthinking it? It has to be Rich versus Eric, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't give too much away, but I did speak to someone earlier who said, in regards to Rich Swann making it Bound for Glory, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Actually, they're exclusive that you'll see soon enough.
So with that being said, where we're headed. I like that we're starting now. I mean, that gives us, when is it? October, mid-October?
October 24th.
Oh, wow. Okay, so almost end of October. So we have a lot of time to build this up. all of the Bound for Glory, and I hope they take they take the advantage to do so, to build the feuds for long, so we get some good, in-depth matches and feuds, and rivalries. So if that's the case, am I stoked for that matchup? Not yet. Could it be great? Yeah, sure. But I think that guarantees a Rich win unless Willie turns. So we'll see. We'll see. I like Rich returning. I like Rich being there. I think he's a long-term play for Impact. Sue re-signed. I imagine he would re-sign as well. I can see him as champion.
Yeah, I think he's an almost guaranteed world champion. Maybe not. If it happens at Bound for Glory, the argument can be made that they've once again hotshotted the title to someone else, and it can't make EY a placeholder champion, like a transitional champion, because that's exactly what I did with Eddie Edwards. Can you have two transitional champions one after the other?
I get that. And can you? Yeah, you can. There's a will, there's a way. But unless he gets turned on or something bigger happens on Bound for Glory, Team Canada reunion or whatever it may be, where the screw job doesn't happen. I hope Eric Young doesn't win clean over Rich if he wins. But if Rich wins, I think it would be a very long reign. And with that, he has the skill set and the wrestling ability to make you not want him to lose the title. We kind of need that. Character, is that all there yet? Maybe not, but we don't know what they're going to do with him or how they portray him as a champion, that next step. But, one day at a time, I guess. And right now, I'm excited to see him back in a ring because dude is just charisma on a stick when it comes to wrestling. He lights up the screen when he comes on. You want to know more about that dude. And then he wrestles, and then you're like, oh, shit, okay. This guy could do 450s off the second rope, for God's sake. It's just insane shit. So I love Rich. I get where you're going. It's hard to root for Eric to lose it as a heel when he's just won it from someone who just lost it. Like, boom, 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 boom. So I get that, but I think the development of the storyline will get our feelings to where it should be, and maybe he doesn't even win. Maybe it's just a comeback story that he's almost about to win, and then heel turn or whatever it may be. So,
right,
time will tell. Time will tell.
Very true. So yeah, that was Impact this week. That was what went down. I'll hand over to Jeff so we can tell you about the competition that we've been running.
Yeah. Let me plug that really quick. So we still only have the 4 virtual raffle tickets that we went away. So one guy has 2 in there, but each of those tickets has a 25% chance of winning. So the odds right now are great. So all you have to do is, after the power rankings that you'll see in just a moment, we'll have another code word. DM us that code word. Tag us in a post. We don't care. It's your guys' code to do what you wish. But if you put it up and show it to us, you win a raffle ticket. It's that simple. There's one on now 2 episodes of What Went Down. There's one on the podcast, and there's the first one on the unboxing of this bad boy right here, the TNA DVD board game. And I would like to say that these crates that are coming monthly aren't something to scoff at. I said that before, and I'll say it again. You'll get your own unopened TNA DVD board game with a shirt, DVD, some other great stuff. And it's not just like the first one's going to be great. We're not selling you on give us $1 for a raffle ticket. It's free. This is my Don West, by the way. We have 1 for each first 3 months, 4 if you want that one. So we're going to have some really great crates and opportunities for you guys to win. As we always say on here, we love subscription or subs. We love likes. We love retweets. We love your interaction. We love views. At the same time, this is something that we started kind of taking seriously not too long ago. And we're still finding our way, and we think we found it. But at the same time, we enjoy Impact Wrestling. We enjoy you guys and interacting with you. And the opportunity to do something cool for you guys like this is fun for us as well. So do it for yourself, do it for us. Enjoy the gift. And then if you win, you also get to film it, and we'll turn it into our own unboxing episode for you. Just a little clip on it. But we'll get you opening the box, and it's a good time. So send us this word that's next. There might be a subliminal message the whole episode, but we'll see.
Yeah, just do the subscribe, but don't forget you can enter this draw, and you do have a chance of winning. Everyone has a chance of winning.
Yeah.
Without you clicking the video and watching it, we wouldn't have anyone to talk to. We're just talking to ourselves. So we want to give something to you for watching us and following us and interacting with us. So keep an eye out for that code word after the power rankings, which are coming up next. That was what went down. Again, Impact Wrestling every Tuesday and Wednesday. Impact Plus, Access TV. Find it wherever.
Yeah, watch it. And real quick before you cut out, if we're also looking for help. With that being said, we are looking to expand. We're doing some cool things that we can't talk about right now, but some different avenues and some different genres of things. So we're always looking for new talent and help. We need someone who can help on social media, someone who's good with website design, no wink wink, and then some other things as well. So if you fit this bill or have any interest in doing something with us, we are a community-based company, channel. If you want to join our chat room, want to join the TNAIW Power Ranking Committee, anything, reach out to us. We're here. We're more than happy to have you aboard. So,
yeah, we'll always interact with you. So that was again what went down. So we'll see you all next week for another What Went Down.
bye, guys.